As an SEO professional, I'm obsessed with trying out new SEO tools, especially when they revolve around keyword research and helping me generate new content ideas. So in today's video, we're going to dive into the SEO tool, Answer Socrates. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I'm Mariah from MariahMagazine.com, and on this channel, I help simplify things like SEO, websites, tech, and I dive into tools and recommendations to help you grow your online business in a way that works for you. In today's video, we're going behind the scenes of the SEO tool, Answer Socrates. So Answer Socrates is kind of like an alternative to Answer the Public, but there's some things that I found really useful about it that I really like about it. So that's why I wanted to create this video, take you behind the scenes, show you how to use it, explain my thought process, and all of that fun stuff. So without further ado, let's kick it into the screen share. Okay, so to use Answer Socrates, you can just go to answersocrates.com. I also put the link to this in the video description box below. But the T here is that you can use this tool for free without creating any type of account. You can come in here, you can type in a topic, and you can do one search a day without even creating any kind of account. But if you want to get more searches per day for free, you can create a free account, okay? And then you'll get access to these things right up here. Now, I will say that also, this is the deal with this tool at the time of this recording. The screen might look different. They might have different parameters by the time you start using the tool, but as of the time of this recording, that's the deal. But I actually have a paid account with them, so I'm going to sign in. Now it's time to have a little fun. So basically what you can do is right here, you can put in a topic. So we're just gonna do Pinterest marketing, because let's just pretend that I am a Pinterest marketing specialist or consultant, or maybe I run a Pinterest marketing agency. And then you can choose your country, your language, and then click search. Give it just a couple minutes here, and then you'll be able to see some really cool things. So you can see how many questions have been generated from this specific topic. Now, I will say, when you are typing in a topic, don't get super specific. Let Answer Socrates do a lot of the heavy lifting. So try to use, I don't want to say like a more broad topic, but I would not put in here like organic Pinterest marketing for business owners. That's too specific. We want Answer Socrates to do the heavy lifting for us of like generating subtopics based on a little bit of a wider topic, which is why I put something like Pinterest marketing in here. So you can see how many specific questions were generated just from Pinterest marketing. Then you can see people also asked. So these are like the top questions that people are referring to when they were typing in Pinterest marketing and like what's showing up on Google. Then it pulls in Google Trends. So you can see if the topic is going up compared to last year, if it's going down, all of that fun stuff. So then we can scroll down to start seeing the little boxes of questions. And so you can see we have no shortage of ideas about this. And then we can pop over, we can see prepositions, we can see comparisons, we can see in the past, we can see them organized by letters, we can see them organized by query, all of that fun stuff. And then we can get even deeper here with recursive questions. So this is going to use a specific credit from your Answer Socrates account, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just so you can see kind of what pops up here. So these are different kinds of questions, deeper questions that sometimes the other generators don't pick up on. So this might be worth exploring to see if it kind of takes these questions a little bit deeper. And then if you want specific questions that you can use for social media, we can click generate social media questions. And then these might be really good topics to come up with ideas for content for your social media profiles as well. So if we go back to questions, the cool part is these little tags right here. So you might be looking at this and you're like, girl, what is bofu and what is tofu? And so bofu means bottom of the funnel. So when people are searching for maybe this specific question specifically, they might be closer to conversion. Okay. And then we have tofu, which is the top of funnel. So it might be like more generic searchers. They're not further along in the customer journey yet. So you can use this information in order to develop like a content strategy that hits every piece of that customer journey with your content. And then there's also a MOFU, which is like middle of the funnel as well. And then you'll see long tail. To be honest, I'm a little confused about this just because I feel like all of them are long tail, but you'll see long tail here. And then for some of them, I don't think it's showing up here, but they also have like location keywords will have a certain tag on there too. So that's really helpful when you're looking at these options to be able to build out a more comprehensive content strategy. And then you can come up here and click check metrics. And so then when we start scrolling down, we'll be able to see the monthly search volume for each of these specific questions. And then you'll see the CPC, so cost per click data. That's not relevant if you're just doing organic SEO, but if you're doing Google Ads, then you definitely want this kind of data. Okay, so for all the questions, we can basically scroll and see how many people are searching for those specific questions monthly. And I will say that these numbers, it's really hard to know for sure. Like, can we ever really know for sure how many exact people are searching this every single month? So I would just use these numbers with a little bit of grain of salt. I find that keyword research tools kind of undercut them a little bit. So it might say 10 here, but it might be double that, might be triple that. Okay. So we can use this information to be able to help us kind of make decisions on like maybe which questions or which keywords we want to really prioritize, but try not to get overwhelmed or underwhelmed when you're kind of looking at these numbers. It's just really helpful to be able to see if you're trying to make decisions based on data. And then if you like these keywords, like all of this information, you want to export it, you want to share it with a team member, something like that, you always have this download CSV button right here. So you can click that, that'll download. But then there's this other option here that I really, really appreciate, and that's cluster keywords. So when it comes to developing like an SEO strategy, a huge thing that a lot of people have trouble and issues with, especially when you're like DIYing SEO or you're just getting started, is like clustering and grouping the keywords in a way that makes sense for the content, because one piece of content, one blog post or one services page, one product page can show up for numerous keywords. Okay. So typically we like to cluster and group the keywords before we start assigning the keywords or like building out a full strategy, but that can be a little tricky, like I said. So you can click cluster keywords and then it's going to use some credits. And then we'll scroll down and you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. So it kind of puts it into content buckets. And I will say that like this tool is not perfect, but it does do a pretty good job at like separating these keywords based on like different subtopics. So when you're going to create blog posts and want to target certain keywords, you're not creating like duplicate blog posts to hit these different keywords when like one blog post would have been perfectly fine to hit all of the keywords. Okay. So this tool, like I said, is really helpful at like getting you started, but I will say that it's not perfect. You are going to have to take a look at things. You might not agree with some things. Like I'm sure if I took a closer look at this stuff, like right now, I'd be like, no, I would not cluster it like that, but it at least gets you started. And this is really, really helpful. Like I said, when you're first getting started with clustering your keywords together. So another tool that I really liked from Answer Socrates that I was playing around with, if we click tools up here, is the statistics generator. So I actually used this in a previous YouTube video. I created a video about how to use quizzes to improve lead generation and like build your email list. But I knew that I wanted to have some pop-ups of statistics around using quizzes for lead generation, but I didn't want to scour Google in order to find the statistics. So I actually came into Answer Socrates and popped in the topic. So just something like that, and then click generate. And then after just a couple minutes, you'll start to see like some statistics that this AI tool went and gathered based on the topic that you popped in here. So like I said, this could be really beneficial for any kind of content. I used it for YouTube, but it can be really powerful for blog posts. If you're talking about a topic and you're trying to really emphasize something, this tool will go ahead and give you a ton of statistics. And then you always want to back them up by clicking on the source and taking a look at things just to make sure that it's true, because if you're new to AI, just a heads up, it does tend to hallucinate. And so we always just want to double check things. But this was such an incredible option for like backing up the topic of the content that I was creating. And like I said, it saved me a ton of time of having to go through Google and like cherry pick and find things all on my own. So then if we just click back up here on tools, you can see that I only went through a couple of the tools that Answer Socrates has, but they actually have a ton here now. And by the time that you're watching this, they might have even more. So if you do want to give Answer Socrates a try, like I said in the beginning, you can create a totally free account to start poking around, to start playing around and seeing if you like the tool. And if you do want to upgrade to the paid version, you can use the code Mariah Magazine to get 10% off an annual plan or 10% off the first 3 months of a monthly subscription. So definitely don't forget to use that code if you are going to upgrade into a paid plan. But the last thing that I want to show you here is if we click this cute little arrow in the left-hand side, you can also get really quick links over to their most popular tools. And then we have our recent searches. And so it makes it really easy to just go back into your search history based on keywords, based on clustering and all of that. And then if you're not sure what credits you have left for different tools that's included in the plan that you are using, you can always get that really quick visual right here. But other than that, hopefully this really quick tutorial and helpful overview was beneficial at seeing if Answer Socrates could help you when it comes to finding new keywords and new content ideas for your SEO strategy. So that's it for today's video. If you guys found this video helpful, give me a really quick thumbs up. The simple thumbs up does go a long way in letting the YouTube algorithm know that my video is helpful, and therefore hopefully pushing it out to more people that also might find it helpful. And like I mentioned in the video, if you're going to give Answer Socrates a shot with a paid plan, definitely use the code Mariah Magazine to save 10% off your annual subscription or the first 3 months of a monthly subscription. So I will leave a link and that coupon code in the video description box below. And if you have any questions, or if you have any feedback, or if you want me to dive into a very specific part of the tool, definitely leave me a comment below the video. I use your comments, your feedback, and your suggestions to inspire new videos on this channel. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, and I will see you in the next video. If you made it to the end of this video and you're just getting started with DIY SEO, but you want some help navigating the process, then definitely consider downloading my free roadmap to successful SEO. The free SEO guide dives into what SEO is, why it's important, and how search engines work, along with my 6-step process to improving your SEO and your rankings. And then finally, I dive into the 3 tasks that you can start doing today to get the results that you want from Google. If you want to go ahead and snag this for yourself, then you can click the link in the video description box below, or you can head over to my website at mariahmagazine.com/roadmap to download your own copy.